The first 2 seconds matter more than anything. And when I see that awkward millennial pause in the beginning of your reels, I want to die. I can't take it. You have to cut that out. You have to get to the point immediately. Welcome to the Creative Bodega, a podcast about content marketing, Instagram growth, and personal branding for female service-based solopreneurs who want to grow their business without letting it take over their lives. I'm your host, Em Connors, and each week I'll share actionable tips, expert advice, and unfiltered truths to help you create engaging content, connect authentically with your audience, and turn followers into loyal customers, all without the burnout. If you're ready to simplify your content creation, navigate the ever-changing trends, and build a business that works for you while staying sane in this crazy season of life, then you're in the right place. I want to talk about why no one is seeing your content and exactly the steps that I would take to fix it. I get it more than you know. You are putting in all this effort, creating the posts, filming the reels, writing the captions, but it feels like you are talking to the void because no one is engaging with your posts, and no one's probably seeing it either. I know how frustrating it is when you feel like you're doing all the right things, but the content is barely getting any views, likes, saves, shares. And in today's episode, I want to try to break down exactly why your content isn't getting seen and what you can do to try to fix it without spending any money on ads. I've never run an ad in my life. I don't know the first thing about running an ad. I do know that when we had our gym business, I owned a CrossFit gym with my husband. He got into ads at one point, Facebook ads, and the people that would come in were so cold, meaning they weren't warm. They weren't a warm lead. They didn't know us from anything. We put money into Facebook. Facebook, we created an ad. The ad was shoved in front of them based on parameters that we set. And then they were like, It's not like they were searching out a gym to go to. We kind of thrust ourselves in front of them and then they would come in and it would just be like a really tough sell, to be super honest. So I don't have the best experience with ads, which is why maybe I don't use them now. I don't know. People tell me I'm probably, wasting thousands of dollars because not wasting, but not getting thousands of dollars from more people because I don't do ads. But in my mind, it's just one more thing. And if you're a solopreneur, you know exactly what I mean. I'm not really looking to add one more thing to my plate. Plus, you have to put a ton of money in initially. And the whole thing just, I don't know. I'm sure there's ads people listening to this and I love you, but it's for me, it's not for me right now. So in today's episode, I want to talk about why your content isn't getting seen and the biggest mistakes you might be making, how to use Instagram's algorithm to your advantage to increase that visibility without relying on ads, how to come up with an actionable growth strategy that actually works in 2025 to get more engagement and reach, how to create content that leads to more conversations, which is huge, and the key shifts you need to make today to stop wasting your time and start seeing some results. So if you're feeling stuck, frustrated, annoyed, wanting to throw your phone out a moving car, this episode is going to give you a clear action plan to start growing your audience organically and get more people engaging with your content. By the way, because I know you're likely working out or walking or taking care of littles, no shame, I would be too. You can find all the details and resources for this episode over in the show notes. Just head over to thecreativebodega.com/blog/9. So let's get a little background or context on this. Like, why is this such a common struggle? Believe it or not, the algorithm is not out to get you, but you might be fighting it. So Instagram is going to prioritize content that gets engagement. If your content isn't performing well, meaning it's not getting any type of engagement, it's likely because Instagram doesn't think your audience cares about it yet. Okay. So the way people engage with content has really changed, and so has Instagram's strategy for ranking posts. Many solopreneurs are sort of stuck in an outdated growth strategy that's just not working in 2025. So the most common complaints I hear is I spend hours creating content, but my reach sucks. I have a plan for my content, but it feels like I'm creating for absolutely nobody. I don't want to rely on ads, but I also don't know how to grow organically. So by the end of this episode, I'm hoping you're going to have a clear action plan to increase your visibility, boost engagement, and finally get content in front of your ideal client. So step number one in getting more eyes on your content is creating more engaging, specific content. Okay. So Instagram is going to push engaging content, not just pretty content. And you know, I'm all about the pretty, please. I love a good visual feed. But if people don't engage with your posts in the first few hours, Instagram's not going to keep pushing it in front of more people. Because what do they want to do? They want to keep people on the platform as long as possible. And if your posts are not making people stick around and consume and save and share, it's not going to keep putting it in front of people, right? So you really need to work on hook-driven captions and curiosity-driven headlines that make your ideal client stop scrolling. What's the goal? Someone's scrolling, they see a headline, it catches their eye, they say, this is for me. This person's talking to me, right? And that's where the specificity comes in. So instead of 5 steps to save time, for who? Who are you trying to save time for? Who needs to be saving time, right? 5 steps to saving time for female entrepreneurs, or maybe even better, like female service-based entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, right? Add in those key words that will get your ideal client to stop scrolling. Mix up your content formats. I see this all the time. Don't just rely on one type of content, just talking head reels, just voiceover reels, just carousels. I think it's really important to mix it up and try new types of content formats for different types of consumers. I also think you need to lean into the content trends that you're seeing. So right now, as of, I'm recording this on March 14th, 2025, those carousels where the people are using the same exact image in the background and Instagram type fonts on top are huge. Every time I post one, it blows it out of the water. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to put a link to a reel that I created on how you make these types of posts. So number 2, I want you to use Instagram's built-in engagement tools. Okay, so the more people that interact with your content, the more Instagram's going to show it to them, right? So use carousel posts. They're huge right now. They're giving reels a run for their money, I swear. They naturally increase engagement because Instagram shows them to people multiple times. You might see where you'll see the first page of the carousel and then 3 hours later you're scrolling and you see the second page of somebody's carousel. That's something Instagram's doing to try to get more eyes on your content. So it takes consumers a lot longer to consume a carousel. They're scrolling through, and the more time that you're spending on one post, the more that's telling the algorithm, oh, people like this. Oh, they're sticking around. Cool. What do we want to do? We want to keep people on this platform 24/7. So let's put it in front of more people because it's keeping them here. Okay. Same with the reels. The first 2 seconds matter more than anything. And when I see that awkward millennial pause in the beginning of your reels, I want to die. I can't take it. You have to cut that out. You have to get to the point immediately. Why do we need to see this reel? Who is this reel for? Is your hook really engaging? Right? Something new that Instagram just included in their reel editor is a button that's cut silences. So you can just click it and it cuts silences out of your videos, which is awesome. Okay. So step number 3, I want you to really optimize for organic discovery. Okay. SEO is a real thing on Instagram now. So what does that mean? You should have in your name section on Instagram exactly what you do. What would your ideal client be searching for on Instagram to find someone like you? What do your main competitors have in their name section that you could, get inspired by? So Instagram SEO is truly a thing. Your bio, your captions, they all need to have keywords. They need to include the keywords to describe what you do, who you're talking to, how you're helping, what you're explaining, all of that. Hashtags still work if used strategically, right? Like I use a mix of small, medium, and larger hashtags in each post. I haven't stopped using them. I see people say, oh, they don't matter anymore. Well, Instagram hasn't come out and said that. They've said that, yes, you should be using more SEO in your captions at this point and inside your posts. But I'm using, again, small hashtags under 50,000 posts associated with it, medium, maybe 50,000 to 500,000, and then large hashtags, 500,000 and above. And a mix of those various size hashtags would be great, right? It's not going to hurt. Step number 4, I really want you to encourage conversations in your DMs. It's all about conversations. Like Instagram DMs, I think, are unlike any other platform when it comes to encouraging conversation. I tried TikTok. I hated it so much. No one talks in the DMs. It was just, I didn't feel like I knew anybody. It felt like a cold, empty void, and I was speaking to no one because I didn't have DMs. Like they have them, but I don't know. Nobody uses them. I'm not sure, but I didn't like it. I love Instagram so much because I truly love meeting people and talking to people, and I'm curious about them. So when they send me a DM, when you send me a DM, you know that I am always responding to people, especially sending voice note DMs, which is my favorite way to reply to people for many reasons. Number 1, it's faster for me than typing. And number 2, I think it's really special when you hear someone's voice. So lean into those voice DMs, lean into those conversations. In your calls to action, in your posts, CTAs, calls to action, be really clear about what you want people to do. If you confuse, you lose. If you don't clearly ask what you want, no one's going to take action. So be insanely clear what you want people to do. DM me the word this. Comment the word this below. Weigh in below on da 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 da. The more simple the question and the more faster the response can be, the better. Like you don't want to be like, what's your life story? Comment in the caption or comment in the comments. But yes, no, leave an emoji, make it simple, easy, quick, right? So I want to talk about a personal story about like when my engagement tanked. So my engagement tanked last year in 2024 over the summer and leading into the fall. You've probably like have this happen to you before. Somebody would casually mention to me a post of mine in conversation. And I would be thinking, you saw that? I didn't see that you liked it. I didn't see that you commented on it or shared it, right? Silent lurkers and silent consumers are everywhere. I didn't give up. I didn't stop posting. I didn't get frustrated. I didn't throw my phone out of a moving car. I kept posting. I kept leaning into what I knew and what felt good for me and what I knew would provide value for my audience. And I trusted that it would come back around. And it did. I think a lot of it had to do with the election last year. A lot of, in the United States, it was the election, a lot of uncertainty, all of that ad spend from the political teams going crazy, meaning our content was not getting in front of people because I'm not paying anything. But you see content, it sticks with you, but you don't actually engage with it. And if you're listening to this, I really believe what comes around goes around. And you might be guilty of this. You see something on Instagram, you stop scrolling, you save it or you share it, but you don't like it and you don't comment on it, right? And I see it all the time. I have posts that get so 4 times as many saves as they do likes. I think people just aren't really liking things anymore. So you can't really go on that number. But it's hard because I've trained my brain. Likes equals good. Likes equals you're successful. But you really need to be looking at shares, comments, saves, all the analytics, which is why I love my analytic tracker so much, which I don't track likes at all. That's not even a part of my vocabulary when it comes to looking at Instagram analytics. And I will put a link in the show notes to my Instagram analytic tracker and show you how I use it and how I use it to determine what to make more of or what to repurpose or reuse. And it saves me so much time and gives me really great ideas for content moving forward. So why do people lurk but not engage? I don't know. They're scrolling mindlessly. They forget to interact. They don't realize that engagement actually helps creators that they love. But here's the thing. Like I said, if you want more engagement on your posts, you need to be engaging with others too. And I really leaned into that in 2024 when my engagement started tanking. I was like, you know what? I'm not really engaging with people, and that's a problem. So if something stops my scroll now, you better believe I'm liking it or commenting on it or sharing it with friends. I want that creator to know that I saw it and I appreciated it. And I think you could do the same. I think if we all sort of make a pact right now of anyone who's listening to this to like really lean into engaging with other people's content when it makes you stop scrolling, who knows? Maybe that vibe will be put out into the universe and it'll come back to you tenfold. So spend 10 minutes a day of engaging. And no, I am 1,000,000% not talking about finding your competitors and going and commenting on their posts. That's not an engagement strategy. I can't stand it. People do it to me. I see them commenting on everything I post and it's not genuine. They're just trying to get people to look at them and go to their feed. It's strange to me. I'm talking about spending 10 minutes a day engaging with people in your community that you care about, right? Not all engagement has to be like some crazy deep conversation. So I want you to remember to make it easy for people. Again, polls, maybe sliders in your stories, a simple yes, no, a simple this or that. That's going to get a lot more engagement versus asking some like big complex question that nobody wants to take the time to stop and answer. And then be clear about what you want. People are not going to engage because they're not told to. Truly. Instead, say, let me know what you think. Drop a this emoji if this makes sense to you. DM me this word if you want XYZ. Tag someone who needs to hear this today, right? So if you're feeling like your content is invisible, I promise you these small shifts can make a really, really big difference. And I know that one of the biggest struggles that all solopreneurs are facing is not knowing what's working or not knowing what to post more of on their Instagram, or we're just so close to it. It's hard to like wrap our brains around it sometime, and figuring it out alone can be super exhausting. But I want you to think about what it would feel like to be surrounded by a bunch of other women doing the same exact thing you're doing, trying to grow their businesses that light them up, that they would talk about day in and day out, like money doesn't matter. Get weekly feedback on your content and personalized support from me to help you grow faster. That is literally what we do inside the Content Coven, which is my membership designed for female solopreneurs who just want to simplify this whole content creation process, show up consistently, and grow without burning out. Inside the Coven, I support you by having weekly Q&As. You can get real-time feedback on your Instagram accounts. I can tell you what I think you need to tweak, what's working, what's not. We do Instagram bio reviews and audits. We work on content planning and strategy. We have a ton of accountability and quarterly challenges to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. So if you ever wished you had a coach in your back pocket to guide you through this Instagram craziness without second guessing everything, maybe the Content Coven is for you, and I would love to welcome you in with open arms. Okay, that was my shameless plug for the Content Coven. It's your turn. If you're feeling stuck, I challenge you to do one of these things I talked about today, whether it's adding more keywords into your bio or your captions for better SEO, whether it is adding hashtags in the small, medium, large range, whether it's adding keywords into the name section of your Instagram account, whether it's leaning into new types of trending posts that you're seeing, or sending DM-based calls to action in your next post to really encourage those direct messages. I want to hear from you. DM me on Instagram. Let me know which tip you're going to try, which one resonates you. And if this episode has helped you at all, I would just adore you if you left a 5-star review or rating on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening. It helps more solopreneurs like me grow, and it helps more solopreneurs like you find this show. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope this episode helps, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on the Creative Bodega podcast. If you love this episode, please be sure to share it with a fellow solopreneur who could use a little content creation inspiration. And hey, don't forget to check out the show notes for any resources I mentioned on the episode to help you create content that feels easy and actually gets you results. If you want even more Canva and content tips, head over to my website, thecreativebodega.com, or find me on Instagram under the same name. Until next time, keep creating, keep showing up, and most importantly, try and have a little fun with your content. I'll see you on the next episode.